Hello, everyone. Welcome to Web3 Marketing Podcast. We're going to be talking today about an interesting, very unusual topic about building local communities for companies all around the world. And I have today three amazing guests. I have Bruno, Yana, and Saed, who are leading different hubs in different countries for our big partner of our podcast company called Internet Computer. So these guys are leading what we're going to call them through the whole episode ICP hubs. And what we want to do through this episode is that we want to make sure that you understand what it means to run a hub for your company and why you would need a hub. And ideally, if you have a company, a Web3 company, and after that, listening to our episode, you would go and run your own hub or create even a few hubs, that will be an amazing result for us for this episode. And another thing that for those of you who are interested, what it means to lead a hub for a company and how to become a hub leader, we will also be discussing the personal side of things. So after the episode, you would know what to do. And if you're eligible, if you're suitable to run a local community for a blockchain company. Hi, guys. Hi, Bruno. How Yana? How Sayed? Super nice to have you here. Welcome to Web3 Marketing Podcast. I'm Dasha, and this is our second season supported by Internet Computer. We're interviewing Web3 founders and marketing leaders from around the world. Tune in to listen to their insights and real Web3 marketing cases. I would like to know about your background, what was before, and how it happened that you started running the hub for ICP. Let's start with Bruno.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having us here today. So my name is Bruno Calabretta. As you can guess from my accent, I'm Italian. And to give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm a biomedical engineer. I've been working before for many years with the biggest pharmaceutical company in the world. Then at some point, I decided that I wanted to chase my dreams. So I quit everything and I fully dedicated myself to the crypto and blockchain space. I moved to Bali, Indonesia. I started here to work with different project company, Web2, Web3, NFT, whatever it was connected to this environment. And I got more and more in deep also into the ICP ecosystem. I loved it. And here I am today. I am the hub manager and co-founder of the ICP Hub Indonesia that is named Disruptives.
We're happy to have you, Bruno. And by the way, awesome name. I like it. Sends the message.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yana, and I'm a Thailand Malaysian ICP Hub co-founder. My journey is very strange and different. I have several degrees. I used to be a nurse, and I work in the intensive care department. Then after I decided that it was very depressing, I decided to switch career, and I went to hospitality management. And then I got in on Web3. It was about 2017. Working for different projects and different layer ones as a marketing contractor. That's how it led me to Internet Computer Protocol. First, I was a marketing contractor for ICP, and my role is evolved. And now I am trying to build something really cool in space.
You have an amazing journey. I want to say kudos to your bravery, as also myself, the person who switched to Web3 from absolutely another industry, but I came from EdTech, which is easier than from working as a nurse in hospitality. So kudos to your bravery. Amazing journey. Sayed, let's hear your intro as well.
Hey everyone, my name is Saad Erikat, and I'm the co-founder of the ICP Hub GCC, living in Dubai and building the local crypto and blockchain ecosystem over here. I've been building the local crypto and blockchain ecosystem with Crypto Oasis for the past 2 years. My venture into blockchain came from my older brother who sent me my first Ethereum about 5 to 6 years ago. I didn't get too excited and too involved with it back then, but for the past 2 years, I've been full-time dedicated to supporting projects in the local ecosystem, helping companies establish here, and helping them also understand the regulation.
Awesome. You have a perfect location for a local hub of a blockchain company. I think everyone can be jealous in another locations because Dubai is somewhat booming, right, with crypto. So it's amazing to have you here. This episode is supported by Internet Computer, and we want to tell you about their amazing Definity Grant program. We've actually received their community grant ourselves. So if you are a developer, researcher, or educator working on blockchain or AI technology, you can receive this grant too. The Definity Grant program can give you up to $100,000 in funding, as well as support and exposure through the ICP ecosystem. You can read more about the grant in the description down below. And if you decide to apply, fill out our form. We will chat with everyone who applies and recommend the best projects to ICP. Don't miss this chance to get funding and join the community of innovators. So, guys, let's start with more strategic questions. What is a hub for a blockchain company? What is a local hub? What its purpose is?
So the hub is actually a different type of marketing strategy, but it's a marketing strategy that actually builds local communities and you can get connected easily. Because as a big company, any blockchain, they cannot connect with all people around the world. They have to have these connectors, subconnectors that can lead to and provide the correct information and provide networking opportunities. Let's say I live in US and I have followers from Asia, right? It will be really hard for me to connect with them on a personal level because I'm based in US, but here locally I can connect with them. There are opportunities like events, and then we can connect and build stronger relationships. So this is what Hub for me. It is a building community locally, but it's bringing awareness for a brand or a company.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
If I can add something, it's amazing what Jana said. I completely agree. Just another thing maybe to add that I think is important is that basically Internet Computer Protocol is the first one in the world that is proposing this kind of approach. Because most of the blockchain, what they are doing, they are like hiring or involving this kind of ambassadors that are located locally, and they go to events or try to organize events and try to spread a little bit of knowledge about the blockchain that they are part of. While instead, I think our role is a little bit much deeper. Because if you think crypto and blockchain itself is not a product like Tesla that you created the same for all over the world. Crypto and blockchain are a regional game. So what is good for me in Indonesia is not good maybe for Saad in Dubai. It's not good for Yana in Thailand and Malaysia. So each region is completely different. And the way and the power that we have in terms of potential is that we are able to approach the local communities, engage with their tradition, culture, regulation, and in this way, bring that additional feeling that it's needed to interact with them and let them understand what is that we are doing with our ecosystem. So these initiatives is pretty brilliant if you think from several point of view because it gives many opportunities in terms of what we can achieve. And this, I'm not talking only about creating event for crypto enthusiasts, but this is actually something more deeper where we are actually providing knowledge. We are creating strategic partnerships, collaboration with local communities and with entities that are already involved in the Web3 space and are looking for layer one to support them. So I think that we have a huge potential ahead of us with these hubs that are being built all over the world.
I am super glad that we're doing this episode because I think it's an important topic. As a community builder myself, I am really interested in what you guys doing. So just wanted to ask, what is the potential target audience of the hubs? Is it different for every country, or it's like you have your kind of common strategy in general that you cover and target a few audiences?
So in my hub specifically, we'll be targeting projects and startups that are building in Web3 and also Web2 projects transitioning into Web3. The reason we're doing so is that the UAE's ecosystem is rich in companies that are building in the space. We've recorded more than 1,800 crypto and blockchain companies that are active over here in the UAE. And about 70% of those are startups and projects, meaning that these companies are projects that are specifically building blockchain products and blockchain related businesses, businesses that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the blockchain industry. So we aim to at least touch every single one of those and see if there's a potential collaboration with the internet computer or a complement of their technology to be supported on the internet computer. And I just wanted to go back and echo something that Jana and Bruno were saying. And to me, just in 2 words or 3 words, the hub is local access point to a global company and a global product and a global ecosystem.
Do you guys have the same strategy in terms of target audiences?
I target someone else because lots of crypto companies or blockchains, they target the same audience. So I actually want to be an icebreaker and want to onboard as many possibilities from Web2 businesses to Web3. How to do that? It's explanation and connection with two businesses and telling them potentials, what can lead, because we're in the stage as early internet. Nobody kind of knows what's happening, but they see the potentials, but nobody knows how to do it. So I'm here for them to help and to improve their business as well and bring them to Web3.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand why I actually said that like they're already working with companies transitioning. I think for Dubai, like again, unique place, right? They're already transitioning by themselves, I guess. So it's gonna help them. But you have to do a bit more. You have to start earlier. You have to reach out to much more Web2 companies to bring them on board to basically mm, do more for onboarding to Web3 to crypto in general, which is awesome. I think Thailand and Malaysia are lucky. Bruno, do you want to add something about your audiences?
Yes, one thing I wanted to say that I think it's also very cool about these hubs is the fact that each person that has been chosen to represent these apps to be like the app manager, app leader, co-founder, whatever title better suits what they are doing, is that I think we've all been chosen according to our personal and professional skills. So according to this, we are also leveraging what is the potential of our region. So basically, we are providing access to a network that we have already built and that we can in this way leverage, so in this way we can fulfill what are the goals of each hub.
I quite like the point that Bruno made here, and something to be highlighted as well is that we are all locals to some extent, and in the places that we're building these hubs. We've been ingrained in those Web3 ecosystems. We've built communities in those Web3 ecosystems, and we're now building those hubs on top of those networks that we already have, and also expanding our networks through that reach.
Yeah, totally makes sense. I can see how it all works. What are the skills or maybe some experience that you need to have to become a successful hub leader?
Well, first of all, you need to be amazing like all the three of us. This is like the main side. If you don't have it, I don't know if you can be part of it. But
So not
just
shy.
no, you cannot be shy for doing this because you need to put your face around a lot. So, like, I'm talking from my point of view, I'm very good in connecting with people. I'm very good in making people understand what is that I'm doing and to share my passion. This is something that I always been able to do it also in my previous job. It's like I am a salesman covered by something else. Let's put it like this. So this is kind of my good skill. Somebody say that I am a super connector. I'm very good in connecting with people and understanding them. So I try to leverage this for accomplishing what is that I need. And mostly for me, blockchain, is a huge passion of mine. As I told you before, I quit everything to do this. And I was doing very good. I had the position as a technical manager. I was living in the US, was living in New York, driving a Tesla. I was living in front of Manhattan. So my life was really amazing. And I quit everything to follow my dream, to follow what makes me happy and passionate every day. So what I do, I share this passion with the people that I met and that I meet every day. And I see that people likes it. Because at the end, if you want to involve more people in what you're doing and make them passionate about you, they need to see that you have to be the first one to believe in it. And if you don't believe in it and you are not able to share this passion, probably it's not going to work in the right way. At least this is my point.
Well, I gotta confirm, it works, Bruno. what you're saying is true. You're very passionate and you can definitely deliver and explain and make people fall in love with this. Okay, Yana, do you want to add something from your side?
Sure, I did not drive a Tesla
Shit, me
like
too.
Bruno did, but so I
Wow.
do have a passion for Web3, especially for internet computer. And that is shown on my networking skills. The disadvantage that I have running a hub right now, I'll talk about, we have advantage and disadvantages and skills, what we need to, to bring up to make it happen. I'm not local in Thailand or Malaysia. I moved around and I lived in US. So I moved here. The opportunity came to be a hub leader. To be honest with you, I got scared, but then I was like, okay, I can do it, right? So first, to run a hub, you need to let yourself know that you can do it. But there are stages when you have a upside down, and then you can do it today, but tomorrow it's going to be depression, and then you got to do it. You have no choice. I don't have Tesla, right? So I got to do it anyway. My goal is a personal to improve my work, but you have to have the skills and you have to have a compassion because you're going to talk to people and you have to have really quick response. For example, if somebody will contact me at 2 in the morning, I'm going to answer them. So when people is looking for something, I'm trying to make it happen right away. I don't want to postpone. Okay, I might do this tomorrow. I might do it next week. No, I'm doing now because it's important for somebody else. Basically, every time when I talk to a potential startup, the startup is not coming to me and brag and said how good they are. I'm actually coming to them and telling them at this point. But the wave is going to change, right? Because the hubs are new, they don't have as much visibility right now, and everything is going to change after we get more visibility, right? So, but the approach is going to be the same. It's a humble approach. I am connected with everyone. I'm not shy to talk or ask. And if they need somebody help, I'm always offering help. I think makes a difference. I think that it's making my hub is getting more visibility because of that. People starting to come into a hub because of the skills and a compassion for people as well. You need to have that.
Yeah, this is a passion and dedication as well as you described it. Amazing. Said, do you want to add something from your side about the skills? Because I know you do definitely have something different from our other guests.
I think I have a little bit of the same, I would say. What Yana mentioned, the compassion is really key. What Bruno mentioned, being, so to say, a super connector. I love to network. I love to be on the go. I love emerging technology altogether, Web3 specifically, because of how dynamic it is. And I feel like that goes along very well with my character. Something that's really helped me is the fact that I've been building local community for quite a while now. I'm very well in touch with the local crypto and blockchain ecosystem. When I said earlier that we recorded that there's 1,800 companies in the ecosystem, that's research I actually contributed to. So I already kind of have a head start for this, so to say. So it's just a matter of doing those reach outs. And something that's really helped me as well that I've heavily participated in my previous roles is communicating between the startups and the corporates. Oftentimes, they don't speak the same languages, but for a startup to really take off and to reach the scale up phase, they really need to have a sort of corporate use case, an industry relevant use case. And I'm very good at helping companies find that niche and defining that space to build that.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say about your experience with local communities because to be honest, I am so into this community building topic myself, but I'm right now mostly working with B2C crypto communities, but I love B2B as well. And I think literally anyone who's running a crypto community right now, especially an offline one, you should really think about finding an opportunity for yourself to also build a community for some blockchain company or crypto company. So thank you guys for sharing this. This was really personal. Let's continue with the questions. So did you guys actually apply to run a hub? Was there like, I don't know, a job posting somewhere where you saw, or it happened through your networking and you've been recommended? Like basically, if I don't know, if I or somebody else want to run some local hub for ICP, what would be the approach to, get this opportunity?
I already was working as a marketing contractor, and they asked me if I would like to apply. Yes, I applied as everybody else, but I knew that the plan was going to be ICP hubs, but all of us had to apply and do a resume and answer questions. Like we didn't have another route. Everyone was treated the same way, basically. And if the skills and my previous jobs opportunities and my skills were suitable to run a hub, because this is a lot of pressure, and they wanted to make sure there are leaders are running a hub who are starting. And on the way, we will find co-founders for the hubs. But the first person who is leading a hub needs to have the stamina to run a hub. So yes, I was in ICP ecosystem already for a year and a half, but I applied as everybody else.
Okay. Do you guys have other experiences?
So if I can add something, for me it was a little bit different as well. In terms, when I arrived in Bali, I started to connect with the local crypto community that was present here. And ICP already had a representative that was organizing events. So I proposed myself to help, and I started to support the initiative that ICP is doing. Also because I already knew the project. I had already invested in ICP even before to knew that there was someone here in Bali handling the situation. So I started to approach them. I started to get more and more involved. Plus, recently, and maybe we will talk later also about this, I helped a big project in Italy to bring a big partnership with Definity Foundation to develop on the Internet Computer Protocol ecosystem. It was a huge success. And after this project moved forward, I've been asked also if this was something that could interest me, and me too. I went through the form, the application to fill, and then I was chosen to represent Indonesia because anyway, even if I'm Italian, I live in Bali right now, so I have everything here: my community, my wife, my things, my friend. Everything is here for now, so I'm very well connected with the whole ecosystem, government, people, institutions, different kind of community. So I saw it as a big challenge in terms of showing my entrepreneurial skills. This was something that I was already doing it before, but now I'm doing it more with a deeper purpose. Because when you are collaborating and working with a blockchain like ICP, one of the biggest one, top 30, you also learn a lot along the way, thanks to all the people that are involved globally into this and that are sharing every time a different way of doing things or different approach. So it's really nice.
I think I have a bit of a different story in comparison to Jana and Bruno. They were both already, in one way or the other, familiar and in touch with the ICP and the foundation, whereas my first interaction came in just March of this year in my previous role at Crypto Oasis, where we were happy to welcome Dom Williams, the founder of Definity, for a fireside chat over here in a series of events that we were hosting with founders of Layer 1 protocols. And from that day, Dom and the ICP team actually really saw the opportunity in the UAE. They saw the booming ecosystem, and they thought that they really had to have done something over here. Funny thing is, I was actually sick on that day and I didn't make it to the fireside chat. I didn't get to meet the whole team. But very shortly afterwards, Crypto Oasis started working with the foundation to build their presence over here. And through that, they also mentioned that there was this Hubs initiative. And as soon as I heard about it, I really jumped at the opportunity because I felt very suitable and very excited about the concept and the idea of it all. And to also give you a little bit more context of the application process, like Jana said, we all applied through the same process, and we all had to deliver the same interview. And the format of that was quite interesting, where each and every single one of us had to build a local specific 3-month plan on how we aim to target that ecosystem. And that really put things into perspective, and I think I even also already got the gears rolling as I was building that, to see, okay, you know what, who do I need to speak to realize this opportunity? Who do I need to make sure that I have a really good relationship with, and owes me a favor here and there, and so on. So it was already building a lot of excitement to what we're going to be doing before we even started to do it.
Awesome. I really want to ask you guys about your current like 3 months plans or how many months doesn't matter you have, right? Whatever strategy you're running right now. But before I do that, I actually heard something interesting that I didn't know about. So, Yana, you mentioned that you will need to find a co founder for the hub later. Can you elaborate a little bit about this? So each hub should have like two co-founders, but none of you have the co-founders yet, and you're going to be looking for them. So someone potentially listening to our podcast, that right, they can become co-founders.
Yeah, I actually have a co-founder, lucky me. Why do we need a co-founders? The hub is decentralized. What if something happens tomorrow? It needs to be running, right? Because it's a hub. So the idea is the co-founder, it will be without me, right? Or if something happened to my co-founder, I will be able to take care of the hub. So this is in my understanding of why we need a co-founder. And for me, I'm looking for Thailand co-founder, but I also don't, it's not an easy task because the person needs to be dedicated and I need to trust the person. Like if there is some, I am still a leading a hub at this point because people from, like my co-founder maybe doesn't know everything and he's focusing on university chapter where I know a little bit more and I'm focusing on everything. Initially, he will learn and he can do all of that, what I'm doing. And the same I need for Thailand. It is not an easy part to find a co-founder because you really need to have a trust in person when you build it.
And I was thinking before you mentioned the co-founder, like what do you do if you need to go on vacation or you want to go nomading a little bit, as everyone these days are doing? Like, but you're like you have the hub to run. You can't leave, right? It's offline, but you can have a co-founder, right? And you can go somewhere else as long as you're still doing your thing, right? So it's possible.
I don't think there is a vacation in Web3, to be honest with you. There is no such a thing as a vacation. You're constantly on your phone. It's not like you're going to be like, I'm not going to answer this message after a week. No, this is ridiculous. There's no vacation in Web3. But
I
there's also flexibility, right? We might work at night, like we might do podcast or interview too with somebody else, and it can be 3 in the morning, right? But because our schedule is totally different. Ultimately, it comes to my face and how I'm, what I'm going to present, and I cannot just leave it behind. So there is no vacation.
I think there is a need for a work-life balance episode in Web3, right? Because you are really hardworking and like kudos to that. But maybe just a little vacation, maybe just a tiny one, maybe just like a workation, like you go somewhere and you work.
Like when you're passionate, it doesn't even count as work. Like if I tomorrow for suddenly we enter in a bull market, right? And I'm becoming millionaire. Well, it's not likely possible, but I'm just imagine. And what I'm going to do with my free time. I was thinking and thinking, what can I do? I literally am going to do the same stuff because this is what I like to do, right?
If I can add something, I totally agree with Yana. There is no vacationing because crypto market is 24/7, 365 days a year. No summer, no Christmas, no Easter, nothing. So forget about it. This is also what we chose this journey. We knew that it was gonna be like this. I'm sure that both Yana and Saed, even before to start this thing of ICP Hub, they were still working like crazy Like sometimes I like to say, yeah, you quit your 9 to 5, so in this way you can be free, you can do what you love, you're never gonna work a day in your life. For whoever is listening, you're gonna work 4 times more than you were working before. So it's true, it's easier, it's nicer because you are doing what you love, but you're definitely gonna work much, much more. But this is the cool thing of being an entrepreneur, is that you're working for yourself. So every hour that you put it on yourself, hours of experience that you're accumulating.
I really liked what you said, guys. I really hope you still rest though. You're super passionate, you're super hardworking, but I really hope that you don't get the rest as well. What is the ideal result of your hub? I also would like to know your KPIs, if you can share, like at least approximately, like in numbers, what does it mean?
So I think we're all aligned on the fact that we want to build adoption for this amazing technology called the Internet Computer Protocol. So we all have that same goal, and we do so in different rights. Some ecosystems are more prone to doing so from a grassroots developer and education perspective. Other ecosystems, like my own, are more prone to do so from the project and startup side. And for example, from a KPI that I've put for myself, because at the end of the day, we are being accounted for by ourselves, is that I want to have at least 50 startups and 50 projects that are building on the internet computer by the end of a year. And there's a lot to incentivize these companies to do so. Other than the capabilities of the technology, we're also supporting projects and gaining access to grant pools that they can use to fund their development on the Internet Computer Protocol.
I think all of us had the different KPIs. It was based on our strength. And we all met our KPIs, to be honest. What we thought this is going to work. As I mentioned before, it was something new for me. So my goal was for startups to onboard at least 25 startups that they will receive a grant. But we have to consider that we are working with more projects, right? So the startups MVPs are going to be much higher. So, for example, if it is 20 startups, maybe only 5 startups are going to receive a grant and maybe not. So, and we are not developers here too. I'm not a technical person. I understand some because I was working in marketing for 5 years in the Web3 space, but I'm not going to code, right? So there are challenges for us personally. So we need to find ways to communicate with startups and find them a support from developer side as well. So it's not only we are bringing startups, we're also working with universities. We're also working with publications and PR. We're also working with influencers. We need to do marketing for our social channels. We need to be event organizers. We need to learn really fast everything. And a very, very short period of time when you have to learn. So you have, within 3 months, my personal KPI for event was 5 events, but it's not only like you have to, if you cannot attend, you have to find the people who will be a community member who can organize this event on behalf of the hub, right? So you really need to have trust on that. So I think for all of us, based on regions, is a different KPIs. We put on that based on thoughts that what we can achieve. To be honest with you, for the last 2 months, I achieved probably 75% already.
This is awesome. Thank you guys for sharing these details.
In Indonesia, the OKR and KPI are very similar from some point of view to the one of Dubai for Saad and Thai and Malaysia for Yana. So we also have the goal to become, the Web3 platform for education. So the place to go in Indonesia for learning about Web3, but also a platform for incubation and acceleration for startup and projects. So for us, it's very important, to find this goal and make sure that local communities and startup and projects, they are interested about the IC ecosystem, because the IC ecosystem is a very interesting one. It's completely different from the other blockchain. it's working with a different language, it has a different architecture. So sometimes, you need to go over the obstacle of people to understand how it works, and how, to don't use the blockchain like Ethereum or Polkadot or Avalanche, that maybe until now made more the news. Because then when you understand the technology of ICP, you understand that ICP it's superior from many point of view compared to all the others blockchain. So there is actually an advantage in developing on the IC, but you need to overcome a lot of obstacles along the way. Like me too, I have the OKR of incubating, having promoted at least 10, 15 projects from now until the end of the year. But again, as Yana said, let's see how it goes, because you can approach this project, they can have a great idea, but then they tell you, I don't have a developer that is able to bring this result. Or they're going to say, maybe for me, this is not the right moment. Or maybe, there are other problems that can come abroad. So you need to take it a step at a time. And as Yana said, I completely agree. You have to take care of your social, of the social of the hub. You need to organize events. You need to promote. You need to do courses. You need to do public speaking. You need to be able to do all of this. So it's a unique, complete package. This one of being a hub leader, of course, comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things to do. But I think we are doing pretty fine. My hair are still here. They're not still completely white. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Could you elaborate a bit more here on three, maybe for you, main advantages of ICP ecosystem that you're promoting to the startups? I just want to give this moment to, bring a little bit of exposure of what's so special about ICP that you're personally promoting through your hub. Three main things.
Like one of the main things that I really like is the price for storaging data. As we know, storaging is one of the most important things right now. Whatever you do, it needs to be stored somewhere. And one big advance that ICP has compared to all the other blockchain is the fact that it's super cheap in terms of storing data. We're talking of around $5 a year, while compared to other main blockchain, we are talking from hundreds of thousands of dollars to even in the order of $1 million, if not even more, according to the price fluctuation. Plus, another thing that I really like is this concept of reverse gas fee model. That means that you, for using a decentralized application, you don't need to pay a fee. Like, every time that you're using a decentralized application, for example, on Ethereum, every time you're performing an action, you need to pay a transaction fee. With ICP, this doesn't work because there is this concept of cycles where there is the DApp founder or DApp team that they are charging this cycle, so they are paying for it. It's like a simple example. It's like you want to watch TV and you are using a remote, and inside there are already the batteries. If you are like on Ethereum, just to name it, every time you want to zip and you want to change channel, you need to pay. On ICP, you already have the batteries because who created that application has already put the battery inside for you to be able to do things with your remote. And then another thing that I really love is the fact that it can be considered the greenest blockchain that there is around. One transaction on ICP in terms of energy is 4 times cheaper than a Google research. And how many Google research do we do every day? Some people hundreds, some people thousands. So this is super cool in terms of what it can be achieved on the Internet Computer Protocol compared to any other blockchain.
I'm going to give my a little bit three what I like about ICP. So one of that is 100% on chain. Why do you like that? Because for me, it's a freedom of speech. If we, in terms of social media, like social-fi, I have been banned from like Telegram for no reason, from YouTube for no reason, and I was shadow banned from Twitter for no reason. So this is when it comes about ICP and 100% of on chain, you cannot be banned, right? And we are not going to go on a monopoly of AWS and Google Cloud, right? So that gives opportunities and freedom for developers and for users. I also like dynamic NFTs that people are super bullish on OpenSea. I think it was just a marketing approach, But if you really look into, they don't really have even the PFP. But in ICP, we are going to have our NFT stored completely on chain and super security because of internet identities. And what also I like about ICP, it's no oracle, so it can read live data.
So, also echoing what Bruno and Jana were saying, really my favorite part about this and what I also pitch to startups the most and has been the most powerful weapon in convincing startups to build an ICP is the on-chain data storage. So, a lot of today's chains depend on centralized cloud storage services, making them not so decentralized. Whereas with ICP, you can build something 100% on-chain down to the data storage of everything. Another thing that I've realized and I've also been telling to startups is that majority of layer 1 blockchains are focused on building the application layer on blockchain. With ICP, you can build the internet from the ground up on the blockchain. So from the website, web development, hosting of a website, hosting all of the data of that website, the code and all of that can live on ICP. And another thing that I'm quite interested in and quite passionate about is currently these chain key integrations that are in development. So we've developed something called Chain Key BTC so far, which has now opened up the Bitcoin ecosystem onto ICP. And coming up in the future are multiple different chain key integrations as well, which will open up multiple different other blockchain ecosystems to be smoothly transitioned into ICP as well.
This is really cool. I've heard about this last chains that you mentioned. I think it's really important for the ecosystem. It's getting more and more open, right? More and more connected to other chains, which is great. And all the guys you mentioned, I think it definitely builds a great case for anyone from Web 2 thinking about the transitioning to Web 3. It's like the easiest probably layer 1 to use for transitioning with an existing Web 2 product into Web 3. So thanks for highlighting all of this to us. And I think whoever's listening to us and thinking like, okay, so should I really explore the ICP ecosystem? Should I maybe start building on it? Basically describes a very good picture of advantages that you can get. And you also mentioned the issues that come along. And this is fair, to not only talk about the benefits, because crypto is still early, blockchain is still early, right? We all have benefits and also the issues you need to find a workaround. This is why we have the hubs, right? To help the startup founders and teams and educators in the space to find the workaround and get to use all the benefits of ICP. To wrap it up, guys, I want to ask you about your personal strategies that you using for your hubs. What are the 3 top channels or activities or things that you use to grow your hub?
So, key is regular events and regular engagements with the local community, keeping them engaged, keeping them excited about the developments of the technology and what's being built. An example of that is recently there was an announcement about a fund specific to AI and blockchain related startups, and that's something that the whole world is really excited about. Another thing is continuously educating as well, continuously sharing educational content, giving people something to read and giving people something to learn. And for me, most importantly, is continuous follow up with the startups that are within the ecosystem already and the leads that I'm planning to bring into the ecosystem. Because in my opinion, it's all about those projects, those startups, and making them shine in order to then also bring that larger exposure to the ICP ecosystem.
So my strategy is networking, attend as many as events as possible, collect as much data as possible, and follow up on that data on my side to onboard to the hub.
A big part of my job, I think it's, and of my strategy is to create strategic partnership. So this means that I have a lot of interactions to do, a lot of calls, a lot of meeting, a lot of favors to ask to people to introduce me to that person, the other person, this exchange. And then, doing the follow-up, making sure that, you don't do the call and then it's remaining a call. You need to push to make sure that is happening, because maybe that the people tell you, yeah, it's going to happen. And then a week is passing and you don't hear from them. So you need to stay always, up to date, always running behind them, chasing them to make sure that, this possibility is actually becoming an opportunity. The other thing, it's also, to follow up with projects. So go and find projects, especially startup or projects that are still in the early stage idea where they are still choosing which blockchain they want to use. And this is the right, people, individuals, team that you want to approach, because they're still in that stage where they didn't start to build on a blockchain. So you know that in that moment you can still have leverage. You can indoctrinate them. You can make them understand what are the advantages of building on the IC, and guide them, provide support in making sure that that talk of building on IC is not just staying a talk, but is going to become a reality. So as Jana was saying before, there is a lot going on. There is a lot of things that you need to take care of, but the end goal is great, because at the end we are putting our personal touch in everything that is coming under us. And I think this is a very great outcome for ourselves in terms of personal and professional reward.
Thank you so much, guys. So I just wanted to say that if you're listening to us and you've been listening to this episode, and that you have a Web3 company and you've been thinking how to onboard people in different places all over the world to your technology or to your product, to your ecosystem, looking to idea of creating local hubs and using this as a strategy, because I think it started working really well for ICP, right? And if you're just an individual who is compassionate, who likes connecting people, likes networking, organizing events, likes to be the connector for different parties, right? Who likes to hang with startup founders and developers. And maybe even if you already were building some community, especially a crypto community, definitely look into joining some ecosystem like what Internet Computer has, and start running a local hub for a company or an ecosystem. I think it's a great opportunity. I am personally enchanted and interested myself. So let's see what happens next. And I, guys, wish you good luck. But I am super, super excited that we had this chat. I think we covered a lot of important points. And thank you so much for coming. And I will really enjoy having you again on our podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, like and follow us for more. We also have a newsletter and a Telegram channel. Check it out at web3marketingpodcast.com. See you in the next episode.